Let me start with an apology. I have another appointment. It's already overdue. So I will entertain a few questions, and then maybe during the course of the day and tomorrow we can respond to other questions. But let us start. Who want to go first? لا العربية احنا تكلمنا معاك كثير. خلينا
باسم مراسلي الأمم المتحدة نرحب بك السيد رئيس الوزراء باسم هيئة مراسلي الأمم المتحدة، وشكرا على هذا اللقاء. طبعا تلقيتم هنا في نيويورك دعما دوليا كبيرا في أكثر من اجتماع، آخرها الاجتماع منذ قليل. هل ستتم ترجمة هذا الدعم السياسي من خلال إجراءات عملية، خصوصا أنكم تواجهون مسألة يعني عقوبات، وأن السودان لا يزال على لائحة الدول الداعمة للإرهاب من جانب الولايات المتحدة؟ شكرا.
نسأل هنا.
I will ask the question maybe in English and بالعربي. Okay.
Yes, sure.
سعادة رئيس الوزراء عبد الحميد الصيام، ممثل جريدة القدس العربي هنا. سؤالي، وزيرة الخارجية أسماء محمد عبد الله أطلقت تصريحا مؤخرا تقول فيه إن هناك احتمال أن يكون هناك
in English.
I will do that.
Exactly.
Okay, sorry.
So that the others can understand.
The new foreign minister of Sudan, Asma Mohamed Abdallah, issued a statement recently saying that the possibility to recognize the state of Israel is there. So could you clarify your position, and if that is the beginning of this new transitional government to extend the hand to an all-time enemy of Sudan? Thank you.
Thank you very much. Yes, please.
Thanks. I'll make it quick. Did you have a chance to meet any American officials this week about delisting Sudan from the State Department's list of state sponsors of terrorism, and did you make any progress in that?
Let me take a female voice here, please.
Thank you. My name is Ibsam Azim from Al Arabi Al Jadid newspaper. My question is, the Secretary General today in the high-level meeting said we need to be aware of the enormous challenges that Sudan faces and enormous support that will be required to allow those challenges to be overcome, and for the country to be able to create a new future that is the future of democracy, a future of prosperity, and a future of justice and human rights. How do you want to assure to get there, given the fact that many Arab countries, after their revolutions, were not able to get to that stage? How do you think you want to make sure that you don't have the same path that the Arab countries have? Thank you.
Question. Maybe here in the front row.
Thank you so much. Concerning Sadd al-Nahda, or the Nahda Dam in Ethiopia, are you in consultation now? Are you going to restart the negotiation with Ethiopia about this Sadd al-Nahda with Egypt? Because it's a very vital matter. And also a very quick one, concerning the closure of the borders between Sudan and Libya and Central African Republic. Can you tell us more about the reasons? And do you want a security pact with these countries like you did with Chad?
Thank you very much. I'm really sorry. I would have entertained more questions, but because of the time, you could appreciate this. Let me start with the just concluded event on Sudan, organized jointly by the African Union and the United Nations. We are extremely delighted and happy that we could never ask for more in terms of support. Speaker after speaker reiterated their support to the Sudanese cause, aspiration and hopes. What is left in this, we hope those words that express the support will be translated into actions and deed. And I think we would expect that from the international community. I think Sudan coming back to the normal situation and the dawn that happened in the country rightly should be rewarded with this. On the issue of our foreign policy and the pronouncement by the foreign minister, As I said in the meeting, Sudan will be hoping to have a foreign policy that is precisely driven by our national interest, non-interference in other people's issues, and based on Sudan interest first, second, and finally. On the meeting with the Americans on the state sponsoring terrorism, coming to the General Assembly provided us with a huge opportunity to meet with many leaders in the American administration. We had very useful discourse and discussion on the issue of state sponsoring terrorism list. We hope as we move forward, we will be able to conclude, and very soon, an agreement that would allow Sudan to be delisted. As I said earlier, this is key to anything we do. It will be an important issue in addressing debt issues, in addressing investment, opening the country, and all that. And I think with the expressed support by the international community, by everybody, I am sure our friends in America are listening, and we would expect precisely that the Sudan people should be rewarded with their name being removed. As I said earlier, the new Sudan that is upholding human rights, good governance, democracy, is not a threat to any nation in the world. And we would be expected to be rewarded for that. On the issue of the Secretary General talked about enormous challenges facing Sudan. I think we ourselves, we recognize that. Yes, it's a huge change. It's created so many hopes. But we are the first to recognize that there are so many challenges ahead of us. But I guess with the determination of our nation, we will be able to surmount them. As I said also in the closing remarks, in the good words and wisdom of our great hero and leader, Nelson Mandela, it is always impossible until it is done. And we are determined to do precisely that. I think on the issue of the Millennium Dam, we are in the middle between the two friends, Egypt to the north and Ethiopia to our east. We think the new Sudan will be a voice of reason, a voice of hope, and working with the two friends and partners and brothers and sisters, we should be able to address any challenges. I think the Millennium Dam issues, if we address them technically, we should not have any problem or challenges. Aspirations, the interest of both countries, whether it's generation of electricity from Ethiopia or the issue of water in Egypt, which is very serious, and we know the concerns of our brothers and sisters in Egypt, should be addressed. And I think we will be able, being in the middle of the two, to bring that voice of reason. Lastly, and I think, but not least, the issue of the borders and all that. I think the new Sudan will be again a force for hope, for peace, and we will do our fair share in bringing peace and stability to the countries you mentioned. Libya as a friendly country, we share a lot of borders.
May I ask you about the probe that you announced?
We will also look at the Central Africa and all that. We share a lot there, and Sudan will be able to address this. Thank you so much.
May I ask
the future
probe that you announced?
One more question about the American. Can I ask you a question?
Future of Omar al-Bashir, can you address that, Prime Minister? The future of the former president?